Hello students, welcome. During last lecture, we studied the natural broadening. We obtained the full width at half maximum and its line shape function, and then we discussed that the shape is Lorentzian in nature. Mostly there are three types of line broadening mechanisms. One is the natural broadening, another is the Doppler broadening, and last but not the least is the collisional broadening. Although all three processes are natural, the collisional broadening, the natural broadening, it is due to the spontaneous emissions, and of course the decay in a natural way of the population. Today we shall study the Doppler broadening. As you have studied the Doppler effect in earlier classes, and we know that the Doppler effect is due to the relative motion between the source and the observer, or the person who hears it. Now here you know that the gas atoms are continuously moving in a random way, and they interact with the electromagnetic radiation. Now, the apparent frequency nu of the wave is different from that seen from a stationary atom. This causes the Doppler broadening, because here the frequency noticed by an observer sitting on the atom is not what actually there is. Now, to derive this and to realize this, we consider that g omega is the line shape function, and we consider radiation of frequency omega is equals to 2 pi nu passing through a collection of atoms contained in some container, and we assume that omega naught is the resonant frequency of the atoms. Now you see this picture, that h nu is the incident radiation. Now for interaction of atoms with incident radiation, the apparent frequency nu seen by the atom in the frame of reference of the atom is omega naught. Applying the Doppler effect, we see, because both the photon and the atom, they are going towards same z direction, one can readily see that the apparent frequency is omega minus into 1 minus omega z by c. Here omega z is the velocity of the atom along z direction. One can also write this as omega c is equals to omega c minus omega nu by c. So this can be easily written by using the Doppler effect, because c is the velocity of light in vacuum, or the velocity of the incident radiation, and Vz is the velocity of the atom. Now we know, if we simplify it further, we see that for incident radiation, for a strong interaction, the effective frequency is that of the peak frequency, omega naught. So if I substitute for omega naught, I obtain omega naught is equals to omega 1 minus Vz by C. So the frequency, now here you see that omega naught is what? The resonant frequency of atoms. So the frequency of the incident radiation, I obtain omega is equals to omega naught by 1 minus Vz by C, and because Vz is much smaller in comparison to C, the velocity of light, we obtain omega equal to omega naught 1 minus Vc by Vz by C inverse, and applying the Taylor's theorem, Taylor's series, I obtain omega nearly equal to omega naught 1 plus Vz by C. The relative motion of gas atoms with respect to photon, this equation shows that this changes the resonant frequency of atom. Now what is the line width function or the line shape function? For this we apply the Maxwell law of distribution of velocities. We know that Maxwell says that the probability that an atom has a z component of velocity lying between Vz and Vz plus dVz must be equal to under root of m beta by 2 pi exponential minus m beta Vz square by 2. Here beta is equals to 1 by kb into T, where kb is the Boltzmann constant and m is the mass of the atom and T is the absolute temperature of gas. Now in equation C we have 3 we have already seen that omega is equals to omega naught 1 plus Vz by C, from which we can obtain easily Vz. Vz is equals to omega minus omega naught by omega naught into C. This equation is equation number 5. Now we substitute equation 5 in the equation for the Maxwell distribution, which readily gives the line shape function. I write m beta by 2 pi, you see here m beta by 2 pi, we have to just substitute for Vz square here on the right. So substituting for omega minus omega naught, assuming delta omega, that means the width, I obtain m exponential under root of m beta by 2 pi exponential minus m beta by omega 0 square delta omega square into c square into d of derivative of omega minus omega naught by omega naught into c. Because omega naught is constant, we obtain the derivative here d omega into c by omega naught, and the rest term is exponential term. So this gives g omega d omega is equals to c by omega naught. It is in c by omega naught under root of m beta by 2 pi exponential minus half mc square beta delta omega square by omega naught square into d omega. We see that here here mc square is there. mc square m beta vz square, and we have substituted for vz, you see, in terms of c. So vz is equals to delta omega by omega naught into c. So substituting this we obtain c square. So here the line shape function is nothing but the probability. So here we get the probability of transition frequency lying between omega and omega plus d omega is equal to the probability that the z component of v lies between vz and vz plus dvz. So this is our equation number 6th. Now to obtain the line shape function, the width, full wave width at half maximum from this line shape function, we consider, we know that the FWHM is obtained at half the maximum value, the value at the maximum. So but the maximum value is g omega d omega at you see when this delta omega is going to be, this exponential factor is going to be 1, because delta omega tends to 0 over there. So I get c by omega naught under root of m beta by 2 pi. You see here c by omega naught m beta under root of m beta by 2 pi, and rest this exponential factor becomes 0. So e raised to theta is going to be 1 because the exponent is 0. So finding the half of this value gives c by 2 omega 0 under root of m beta by 2 pi. Let this be our equation number 7. Now the line shape gives g omega d omega is equals to c by omega naught under root of m beta by 2 pi exponential minus half mc square beta delta omega 0 omega square by omega naught square, and we apply here the normalization condition, that the line shape function that we have studied in the properties of line shape function, that integral g omega d omega must be equal to 1. So we integrate either side from 0 up to infinity, that means all possible frequencies, and when I integrate I get c by omega integral 0 to infinity c by omega naught m beta by 2 pi exponential minus half mc square beta delta omega square by omega 0 square d omega is equals to 1. And here we use a uh, very common integral, and for that we substitute the exponential factor equal to u square, and by simple uh, this is worked out and being shared with this link. So you know that this property gives us integral of minus x square dx is equals to 1 root pi by 2. So I obtain c by omega naught under root of m beta by 2 pi into under root of mc square beta by 2 into under root pi by 2, because this gives under root of pi by 2. Now from this this must be equal to 1, because on RHS we see that 1 by omega naught is also there. Now the line shape function becomes c by omega naught m beta by 2 pi mc square. Here from this we obtain the value at this value, and this thing m c square beta by 2 into omega minus omega naught square. We have just substituted for the value of omega naught here. Omega naught from this value of FWHM is omega naught is equals to delta omega d for Doppler here by 2 under root of mc square beta by 2 natural log 2. Now on substituting we obtain c by under root of mc square beta by 2 natural log 2 into under root of m beta by 2 pi exponential minus mc square beta by 2 omega minus omega naught square, and this we have substituted from the just seen deduction. mc square delta omega d square by 4 into mc square beta by 2 natural log 2. Now this thing because there is exponential factor here and we have had the integration. All this comes out to be, the intensity comes out to be equal to here omega naught we have obtained. So the half of this value gives the line shape. Half of g omega d omega max gives c by 2 omega naught under root of m beta by 2 pi. And finally, what we obtain, g omega d omega is equal to c by delta omega d under root of natural log 2 by pi exponential minus 4 natural log 2 omega minus omega naught square by delta omega square. If we plot this function, we see that the Gaussian function is like this, and it is something of the form e square is equals to e naught exponential minus x square by a square, where a is constant. So it is sharply a bit peaked around the maximum. Now, to obtain the maximum value at the maximum, we again find it by putting the argument to be 0. I obtain 2 by delta omega d under root of ln 2 by pi. Here at this value, because this we have already calculated, and c by 2 omega naught into under root of m beta by 2 pi must be equal to the value just seen, this thing. So solving this, we easily get the value of delta omega. Delta omega is equals to under root of 2 omega naught under root of natural log 2 by mc square beta. Now this is one width, and to find the FWHM we make it twice. So what we obtain, twice omega is equal to 2 omega naught under root of 2 natural log 2 mc square beta, which is the full width at half maximum FWHM. From this we obtain omega naught is equal to delta omega naught by 2 mc square beta under root of mc square beta by 2 log 2. So we have seen the properties of line width of a Gaussian beam, which is the behavior of the beam, a typical laser beam, and it is the most probable behavior, and we see that most of the energy is contained in this mode. So there may be many number of line shapes, but two are more pronounced, and those are the Gaussian and the natural broadenings. The natural has Lorentzian line shape function, and the Gaussian one has, and the Doppler broadening has Gaussian line shape function. And we see that these are the mathematical functions actually, and there is a reason that why it is so. So this is due to the relative motion between the photon and the atom, and the natural broadening is due to the by taking into account the spontaneous emissions also. So you please go through these, and books are Swelto and Ghatak and Tyagarajan, Demtroder, Yariv, etc. So during in the next lecture we shall discuss the laser rate equations, and till then, bye, and take care. Thank you very much.